The message of the day: cash is trash. Yeah, you heard that correctly. This stuff, cash, is absolute trash. Did you know that 22% of the money supply of United States dollars was printed in 2020? That's massive. Let's put that into perspective. $22 out of every one of these that is floating around in the world was actually printed in 2020. That's a massive destruction of the United States dollar. The purchasing power of our dollars is depleting and decaying literally on a daily basis. Now you might be wondering, what do you mean by the purchasing power? Well, you've probably witnessed this and seen this in your own life. When you go out to the grocery store, you go to the gas station, you go out and buy the normal things that you would buy on a regular basis. Let me ask you this. Were prices the same now as they were 1 year ago? For the same bundle of bananas, or the same box of cereal, or the same can of soup, or the gallon of milk, or the stick of butter, or package of butter, or loaf of bread, are all of those products selling today for the same price that they were a year ago? I highly doubt it. I don't know where you're located, but where I'm located, it is not the same. When we go to the grocery store, we used to be able to buy a few bags and for like $100, right? Today, we're getting like 2, maybe 3 bags worth of groceries for $100. Prices have gone up significantly. That is the example of the purchasing power of the United States dollar depleting and decaying, simply because they are printing so much of it, and it's a function of supply and demand. There's a lot more demand for the products that many of us are buying on a regular basis at the grocery store, right? Well, at the same time, the money supply is increasing rapidly. Every single month, they're printing roughly $120 billion, increasing to our money supply. So, what's the name of the game? What should we do about this? Well, the name of the game is actually focusing on cash flow, not cash, not this stuff, not the green guy, ditch old Benny boy, but rather what you should be doing is taking this, figuring out a way to put out $100 into something, and figuring out how little Benny can make little Benny babies and turn into more money. Whether he returns $10 or $20, or maybe he multiplies into 2 of himself. Maybe he clones himself and turns into 2. But the name of the game is focusing on cash flow. Cash flow is the name of the game. That is how you can get out of this vicious cycle that we're in right now, whereas you save $100, you put it in the bank, you get virtually $0 in interest on it, and then meanwhile, you come back a year later and you realize, oh, that was fun. I saved $100. I got nothing in interest. The little bit of interest that I did receive, I still have to pay taxes on it. And then the $100 gets me 2/3 of what it previously did a year ago. Saving is not the game anymore. Back in the day, 10, 15, not even 10 years ago. I mean, realistically, 10 years ago was not even the thing anymore. I mean, 20 years ago, when you could actually get a reasonable interest rate and when they weren't printing US dollars into oblivion back then, yeah, saving, you could get away with it. You could get 2-3% in a savings account. I mean, I remember back when I was a kid, like in my, 9, 10, 11 years old, something like that. I remember back then I maybe had $100, couple $100, maybe $1,000 if I was lucky. That was probably just given to me as birthday gifts or who knows what. But I remember back then, even my little savings account, I would get like 2.5-3% on a savings account. That's crazy. Even then, you would get on CDs. I mean, you could get 5, 6, 7, 8% on a CD back in the day, depending on the duration and how much money and things like that you had. But still, back then, now, even on a CD, you could put your money into like a 5-year CD, and you'd be lucky if you get 1.25% or maybe 1.5%. Well, guess what? The Fed tells you there's no inflation. Really? Seriously? That's not accurate. There is absolutely inflation in different things. Maybe in some areas there's not inflation, but there absolutely is inflation in some of the everyday products and services that we buy, right? We're seeing it. But yet we continue to hear, oh no, there's no inflation, don't worry. Yes, absolutely. They're printing dollars so rapidly that our purchasing power is depleting literally day over day. So if you get anything out of this message, do what you can. Rather than saving money, take your money and figure out a way to get that money to produce more. Maybe it produces 2% back. Maybe it produces 5%, 10%, or maybe you nail a home run and you can figure out a way to get your money to produce 20, 30, 50%, 100% on itself. That's the name of the game. Focus on cash flow, and you can look back in a few years from now. If you're focusing on cash flow and you're dedicated to cash flow, your life could be drastically different in just a few years from now, from the mentality of saving versus focusing on cash flow. Anyway, a quick message. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, everybody. I'll be back. I just want to do whatever I can to help you and share my passions, my interests, my knowledge with all of this stuff with you and hopefully impact your life a little bit. Hey, you got to look out for yourself because guess what? Nobody else is doing it for you. So anyway, enjoy your day. Thanks so much for your support. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and share the video with your friends, family, and social media. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. I'll see you later.